Hey guys, and welcome to another Chess Master stream video. Today I'm gonna go through a game I played today up against Jay Linars. So the game started with d4 and c6. So yeah, let's continue c4, a6. So some kind of a weird transvestite defense. I don't know. Is that correct spelling for me? But okay. Let's stay appropriate. So knight c3, e6, e4 and h6. So this move was really confusing me because I don't know, usually you don't really move a and h pawns. As you can see, I have a really nice center, so f, e, d, c and b squares are almost controlled by my pawns. Well, there is some control for light squares to them, but okay, let's continue. Knight f3. So I develop knights before bishops. That's for the beginners, guys. If you don't know, it's best to start with knights. So g5, another pawn move. So they haven't moved a single minor piece yet. So I don't know what they're going for. Obviously, the g5 move goes for g4, kicking my knight away, which is actually not that bad for me. So I decided to play h3. In case they push, I can just capture. So bishop g7. Now putting some more pressure on my d pawn, and alright, so bishop e3, just defending. Alright, so finally they moved knight out. So knight e7. I decided to develop my queen, so queen d2, and another pawn push. So that's just funny. So if you are rated at 14 to 1500, remember, just try to develop your pieces. Over here we see almost all pawns have moved, and only 2 of their pieces have been moved, and just 1 rank further. As you can see, I try to push my pieces up higher, so I get more space advantage. Alright, so next move, I played c5. Why? Well, I have a nice control and really nice grip over their position with this move. Obviously, if I take, they would just open some rook file or more lines. Since I have space advantage, I would like to keep the pieces on the board and try to squeeze them down. So queen a5 is played by their side. And note that queen is not defended, so you have to keep it in mind. a3, well, probably I played this move just because the rook wants to move, and you know, in case knight moves, rook moves, this pawn would be undefended. Also, the second reason is b4 would be a move that kicks away queen back where she came from, actually. So b4, they're pushing down. So over here I cannot take the pawn because I will lose the rook. So yeah, as you can see, I just need to move the knight. So I did, knight a2. What this move does, it actually hits at the pawn twice, because nice retreating move makes actually also a nice attack, because pawn cannot take the a3 pawn because queen will take queen. As I mentioned previously, queen is undefended. So at this point, I'm preparing to take out their pawn, and what they do, they just play random d5. So okay, let's say I would take the pawn, they would take my pawn. So first I need to correct this issue, and since I have space advantage, of course, it is e5. I close up the center. So knight f5, hitting the bishop. Well, it is my bad bishop, so I don't really mind if they take it. So now knight takes b4, knight takes e3, and pawn takes back. So why I decided to take with the pawn? Let's say I would take with the queen. What happens? Well, nothing bad, obviously. But if I take with the pawn, I develop the bishop out, let's say to d3, I castle. The rook will be on f file, and it's semi-open file now, because I moved the f pawn, and now it's on the e3 square. That's why I took with the pawn. So bishop d7, bishop d3, standard developing moves. So they castle, I retreat my bishop, so that's actually a nice idea to move queen d3, preparing for checkmate, queen h7. And well, they play f5, closing up my idea, but okay, I just decided to castle, and maybe one day I will open up that line. So f4, they did it in my place. So this is actually not a good move. I would say it's a mistake, because what they do, they open this light square diagonal for me, and also lets me to get rid of my double pawn structure, so I can just capture, and so I did. So they took back with a rook, which is also, I think, not the best, but okay. Queen d3. So now there is no checkmate on h7 because king has escape square. So rook f7. I don't know why they decided to go back. Could have just okay, the knight cannot be developed. So see how they just block the knight. This is called space advantage. The better space advantage you have, the more pieces you want to keep on the board, and the more tougher it is for your opponents to play. As you can see here, my queen and bishop is active, knight, rook is very active up against the opponent's king. And here, black queen, however, is not doing a whole lot in order to attack our king. So this will be one of those games where one side gets the attack and everything else, and another side just tries to survive. And you know, I always like to be on attacking side. So next move, queen h7 with the check, king f8. So I suppose that was only legal move. And bishop g6, I decided to do this because that rook don't really have many squares to go. So a7, or yeah, he can go back to f4. Yeah, but well, okay, let's see. They decided to defend, so that's actually a mistake because I can get up the exchange. Obviously, I lose my strong attack, but I check out the next move. So pawn up. What this does, it will break down the last of their king side's defense forces. So if I can manage to open up, rook will be pinning the bishop down, so I can pile up on the pin piece. I can also move my knight over and get him in the game, but I'm not doing that now because it blocks the queen nicely. So yeah, and they decided to push the pawn, so g4. So I run away with my knight. Also another retreating move which actually attacks the pawn and also reveals the rook power up against their bishop. So finally they decided to do something with the queen, so queen b5. And that really doesn't do much because now I came up with a really nice combination. So if you want to pause the video, you can do that, but if not, let's just checkmate him together, guys. Okay. So my next move was actually rook sacrifice. Well, I don't know if it's sacrificing if you just take the piece, and so it's, well, yeah, it's called the exchange sacrifice. So rook takes bishop, king takes back, and rook f1 check. So king has to move away from this bishop, and so it's another check and checkmate. Actually, it doesn't matter where he runs because my pawns are covering the 6th rank, so queen and rook will do the job finishing him off. So he takes a rook check, king runs away. So as you can see, it is mate in 2 now. Queen g8, king up, and rook f7 checkmate, right? So queen checks, king up, and checkmate because king cannot run here. Queen is covering the 8th rank, and rook takes out the 7th rank. So this was a really nice game I played, and I wanted to highlight the thing that they developed the queen. Okay, let's not mention all the bad pawn moves, okay? Quickly you can go back. So at this point it is still okay. Well, that b5 move was over aggressive, too ambitious. So queen a5, I think that's one of the inaccuracies in the game. It doesn't really lose any material, so it's not a mistake. But in the long term, the queen really didn't enjoy the game at all. So you can see my queen and their queen. So many moves and their queen is just sitting and doing absolutely nothing. So queen is 9 points strong and does not participate in the fight. As you can see, everybody is playing except that queen. Okay, a rook and a knight as well, because they got quite stuck over there, and it was actually funny. So over here at the move 24, actually they moved the queen again. So basically for like 15-16 moves, straight queen was just sitting, while my queen is actually participating in very strong attack up against their king. So this allows me to checkmate easily because the queen made 2 moves in the game, or 3, whatever. It's just stupid. So 2 moves, yeah. So next time you play, my suggestion: make less pawn moves, develop knights, bishops, castle, put the rooks on open files or centralize them, and don't make premature queens move. That's also a big mistake, especially if I can just, try to trap it or squeeze it in an uncomfortable position like in this game. So yeah, that's about it today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, so if you want to see some more of my content, feel free to subscribe my channel, and see you next time.